looking at top 10 things Disney wants you to forget. Good.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we have top 10 things Disney wants you to forget about. It is easily one of the most recognizable brands on the face of the earth. Disney has a few dirty little secrets that it tries to keep away from its viewers. Here are 10 of those things that they want you to forget about. Number 10, The Song of the South. The Song of the South is a 1946 live-action and animated musical film produced by Walt Disney. The movie is about a plantation handyman and how he tries to entertain a lonely boy. The film takes place after the Civil War, which means that slavery has been abolished. People have been criticizing this movie since the first day it came out, and it is unlikely that the hate will stop anytime soon. Disney pretends as if the movie doesn't even exist because many people have called it extremely racist. Dialogue and the way black characters are portrayed made everyone very angry. It is the only Disney movie that was never given a US home release in its full and unedited state. The reason for that is because the company does not want anything to do with the Song of the South. Number 9, Disney suing daycare centers. What many people don't know is that Walt Disney Company sued 3 daycare centers in 1989. They sued the daycare centers because they painted murals on their walls featuring famous Disney characters without asking Disney for permission to use their characters. The painting on the wall made the children very happy, but sadly it was taken away from them. The daycare centers had to eventually paint over the murals, and Disney justified what they did by saying that people need to view it from a business standpoint. If they allowed one business to use their characters for free, then many other businesses will try to use Disney's trademark characters without even asking for permission. After a while, Disney's theme park nemesis, Universal Studios, decided to give the daycare centers free use of few characters like Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones. Number 8, Parasites in Disney World. Make sure you think twice before you decide to go swimming in the waters around Discovery Island in Disney World. Although it is very unlikely, there is a chance that you might find a nasty parasite in the water. The Naegleria fowleri is a free-living microscopic ambia. It is usually found in warm bodies of fresh water all over the world. The ambia enters through the nose, travels through the brain, and starts to slowly eat it away. The reason why everyone tries to avoid it is because it can cause a very dangerous infection called PAM, or also known as PAM. This infection doesn't happen often, and only one person died from it in Disney World. The Naegleria fowleri is what caused Disney to close their first water park, Disney's River Country, which used unchlorinated water. Number 7, Disney's animators go on strike. Almost everyone has watched at least one Disney movie throughout their childhood. The biggest reason why everyone loves Disney so much is because they grew up watching all of the films. Every kid's dream is to hopefully one day work at Disney World or create movies for the company. They probably don't know that working at Disney is not as fun as it looks. In 1941, 1,293 Disney animators went on strike because they were sick and tired of going to work 6 days a week for low wages and no screen credits in the finished films. They knew for a fact that they deserved much more money than the amount Disney was giving them. The strike lasted a total of 9 months. Finally, Disney himself decided to step in and fix the problem, and he negotiated with the animators. Number 6. There is not much people know about Walt Disney, except for the fact that he really loved his country and had strong political beliefs. Disney's most shocking secret is that he was an FBI informant. He developed a strong friendship with John Hoover, who used to be director.
He was an FBI. Come on, man. Better stop playing with me. This dude's in the FBI? God dang.
Of the FBI. They wanted to team up so they can find Soviet sympathizers working in show business. Disney was an owner of a very successful company, and he was afraid that communist influence would cause his workers to organize a union that would lead to a higher pay. The number of people Disney had thrown under the bus is unknown. All of his FBI documents pertaining to his work as an informant are classified, so there is no way we will ever find out how many people he threw under the bus. Number 5, Disney's World War II propaganda. During World War II, Walt Disney organized the production of hundreds of pro-American propaganda and military training films from 1942 to 1945, where they would create and promote these propaganda films films for the U.S. government. Disney's production benefited the U.S. government because it promoted an effort to increase support for the war. The U.S. requested for Walt Disney to create a number of anti-German and anti-Japanese films for both the soldiers and the U.S. Republic. They wanted to portray these territories and their leaders as controlling monsters without any morals. Majority of the films were not seen by the general public. Instead, they were training films intended for active military personnel. One of the more famous of Disney's propaganda films featured famous Disney cartoon characters dealing with the stresses and complications of war. In the film, the Führer's face, also known as Donald Duck, had a frightening nightmare where he had to deal with the absurd Nazi food rations and endure a hard day's work in an artillery factory. Also in another famous film, Commando Duck, Donald goes all out and destroys a Japanese military base all by himself. Number 4, Code A113. The code A113 is virtually in every Pixar movie from Finding Nemo to Up to Toy Story and many more. Viewers have also seen the code in Disney films like The Brave Little Toaster and The Princess and the Frog, and they also seen the code in animated television shows such as The Simpsons and American Dad. What is this conspiracy all about? Well, A113 is an inside joke that refers to the classroom number at California Institute of Arts. It was a classroom for the first year graphics design and character animation, where many of the animators at Pixar and Disney and several other studios studied and mastered their skills. The use of A113 in their films is a friendly nod to one another that they once shared a classroom without which they would never be doing what they're doing now. It's very common to see this number across multiple different animation films, but it's honestly just a fun thing that all these animators are doing together to appreciate the school. Number 3, Toy Story is suspiciously similar to a 1980s TV Christmas special. In 1995, Toy Story transformed the world of animation by introducing kids to CGI. But on top of the technical accomplishments, it's also a great story. It's hard to believe that no one ever thought of doing a movie about toys coming to life before, right? Well, 9 years before Toy Story, during the Christmas times, ABC had a TV special called The Christmas Toy. Similar to Toy Story, it starts a group of toys that come to life when no one is around, but the resemblance go past even that. In the movie, the main toy character is a toy who grows insecure when he hears that his owner gets a new present that could simply replace him as a new favorite. Also, in the Christmas toy, the new toy that arrives turns out to be a conceited character from outer space who has a difficult time separating between the fantasy world and reality. Her name is Meteora, and she is a queen of the asteroids. Sadly, this queen doesn't understand she is just a toy, similar to Buzz Lightyear. Toy Story shares many other similar qualities to the Christmas toy, but we must continue with our list. Number 2, Monsters, Inc. already has a live-action version. Let's face it, like I mentioned earlier, Pixar is notorious for making unofficial remakes. Still, one of their most unoriginal movies that they created is Monsters, Inc. The concept of a society of monsters whose job is to scare children is something that made everyone in the kids' movies business wish they thought it before. Nothing like this had been done in animation, but there was a live-action film that was based around this exact concept. Try to imagine what Monsters, Inc. would be like if it was an 80s live-action movie, and you can get a fairly accurate idea of 1989's Little Monsters. In it, a kid played by Fred Savage meets a friendly monster named Maurice, who is basically a human version of Sully from Monsters, Inc. In the movie Little Monsters, it turns out that every kid's room, there is a portal to a world ruled by monsters. In Monsters, Inc., it's in their closets, and in Little Monsters, it's under their beds. But the basic idea is the same. Both movies have a main villain who dresses more irritable than the rest of the monsters, and who kidnaps a human child for its own evil purposes. Number 1, Yippies Invade Disneyland. On August 6, 1970, the Los Angeles chapter of the Youth International Party, also known as the Yippies, assaulted Disneyland in California and took several sections of the amusement park. The Yippies that took Disneyland that day were part of a leaderless but well-known counter-cultural organization that showed free speech and anti-war protests all over the country. In an effort to gain publicity for their cause, the Disney Yippies wanted to disturb as much of Disneyland as they could. Seeing the park and the thousands of tourists visiting that day as representatives of the man. After changing a few American flags with the Youth International Party flags, and commonly being as annoying as you can imagine, Disneyland security stepped up and kicked the Yippies out of the park. At which point the Yippies disbanded their protests, threw up a peace sign, and disappeared in a heartbeat. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I will see you all in the next video.
I should have gave a warrant. that this is gonna ruin your childhood. Oh my God. Bye.